Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the What Do I Know podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Davis. You know the slogan, just that average fan talking all ball all the time. And man, last night, I want to get straight into it. NBA playoffs, Oklahoma City Thunder versus Portland Trailblazers. This was an elimination game for the Thunder, and boy, did they come out firing. Paul George played really, really well yesterday, actually. I was thoroughly surprised till the end of the game. You know, he had a couple missed shots, the two big missed free throws. Had a couple turnovers at the end of the game. Russell Westbrook had a couple turnovers. But for the most part, Paul George played really well. But the star of the show, the man of the night, Damian Lillard. Man, this dude from the beginning of the game came out on all cylinders firing. This was a game to where Dame was just like, you know what? I'm not going to let us lose. I am not going to let us go back to Oklahoma City. And I thought it was wonderful just to watch him play with such aggression and to play with such focus. Now, for those of you who don't know, I love Damian Lillard. He's one of my top 3-point guards in the NBA right now. I'll take him over Steph Curry any day, but he is just built for the moment. He's built for games like this. Now, the rest of his team at the beginning of the game, they weren't doing too good. Like I said, OKC was playing on all cylinders. They was doing everything you wanted them to do. Everybody was making shots. They was playing pretty good defense on everyone but Damian Lillard, of course. But I like the fact that, the Thunder kept their foot on the throttle. They got up to a 15-point lead. But that fourth quarter, man, that's going to hurt. That is going to hurt. And you can see their lack of team. You can see their hero ball style. Russell Westbrook. I love Russell Westbrook, man, but, he is who he is. There's nothing that's going to change that. He's always played this way. He's never going to become a clock manager or anything like that. Like, he's all effort all the time. You can't dial him back. So you get what you get with Russell Westbrook. Paul George, even though he played better in this series, there's a couple of things he could have done better. That game, at least. But, man, Damian Lillard, man, 50 points. Big points down the stretch in the fourth quarter. He got the 2-for-1. The Thunder come down, miss a shot, and then Damian Lillard step back, 37-footer for the he called game on Paul George. What a wonderful shot! And if you had been watching the game the whole night, then you understood that his confidence level was at an all-time high. I think he made 10 3-pointers, which was a franchise playoff record, 50 points, which is a franchise playoff record. He just went crazy. Probably one of the best games we'll see this postseason. Other series and other games have not been like this. This was a really, really, really good game. Congratulations to the Portland Trailblazers. You're moving on to the next round, maybe even the Western Conference Finals, depending on who you get. But I want to touch on OKC's team real quick. One thing that I just don't understand is this. The NBA is turning into a 3-point driven league. Yes, they have players who can make shots, but they don't have any shooters. They went the route of athleticism. They went the route of defense. And the only way you can go that way is if you play defense all the time. You play defense for 48 minutes. In this series, I think Damian Lillard either have made more or maybe was within 4 or 5 threes of the whole OKC team by himself. Russell Westbrook is not a shooter. We know that. Paul George can shoot. But outside of him, there's really no one you can depend on to make a three. Now, what can they do in the offseason? They have so much money tied up in the players. Russell Westbrook, Paul George just got a new contract. Steven Adams is getting paid $26 million. I don't know where they can go. Dennis Schroeder on his deal. But they're going to have to make some changes. 3 years in a row, they've been out of the first round. Russell Westbrook has been the leader of those 3 teams. Because volume scoring is not going to get it done unless you have shooters. Maybe Billy Donovan is the answer. Maybe he needs to go. They need to get a coach that Westbrook could listen to. I mean, there's a lot of things we can say, but something has to change with that team. Because right now they're in basketball purgatory. So they're not in contention for titles, but they're not bad enough to where they can get good draft picks. They're just a 6 through 8 seed in the West. And that doesn't get you anything. So something's going to have to change for them. Also, last night there were 2 other series games that were played. The Toronto Raptors destroyed the Magic, and they move on to play the 76ers, who also won last night in dramatic fashion. I do believe the first quarter it was like 26-2 or 25-2, something like that. So both teams really closed out the series well. That's going to be an interesting matchup. I think Joel Embiid will be nullified to a degree. I've talked about this on my last podcast. The front court for the Raptors is really good. And you're going to be hard pressed to find someone with a front court that can manage Joel Embiid like theirs can. And they're also going to make him work on offense. Jared Allen is not going to make Joel Embiid work on offense. Marc Gasol can. I'm not saying he will, but he can. If he can have one of those throwback Marc Gasol games, he'll pull him out the paint, make threes. Serge Ibaka's going to pull him out the paint. Siakam, if he ever has to hold Siakam, he's going to pull him out the paint. So this is going to be an interesting series. I would love to see what they do with Ben Simmons. Are they going to put Kawhi on Ben Simmons and not put him on like Jimmy Butler, put Danny Green on Jimmy Butler? And what is Kyle Lowry going to do? I think this is going to be very, very important in determining where the Raptors can go. I have them going to the NBA Finals. I think they're the best all-around team. They have very good depth. Like they 7th, 8th best player. I think it's like Norman Powell's probably the 7th, 8th best player on the team. And I think he can be a starter or a bench player for any other team that's left. Or a top bench player on any other team that's left in the NBA. So I like their team. I like Kawhi. They have a finisher. But this series is going to come down to Kyle Lowry and his production. Is he going to turn into the Kyle Lowry that we know and love? The one that can score 6 or 7 points in a game, not really do anything towards winning? Or is it going to be something we've never seen? Is Kawhi going to give him that confidence to where he knows he's the second best player and he can do what he needs to do? Maybe even the third best player, because Siakam is really balling. So I think that would be better for him. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm ready for that. And then we also have the Nuggets, Denver Nuggets, and the San Antonio Spurs. And the Nuggets blow out the San Antonio Spurs last night. I always said the Spurs had a chance because of Greg Popovich, and that's it. But I think the Nuggets are going to move on to face the Trailblazers. And I think they're going to win the next game. I don't think the Spurs have it in them. People were talking about Derek White. He had one good game, has not done anything since. DeMar DeRozan is not the star, or LaMarcus Aldridge. Neither one of them is the star that you need in the playoffs. So I didn't expect them to go too far. Like I said, I love what Pop does with his players. He gets the best out of his players. But sometimes it's just not enough. Jokic has finally decided that he's going to be the best player in this series. So he's been playing really, really well these last two games. Jamal Murray has really stepped up. I think the addition of Torrey Craig into the starting lineup has made a huge difference because Will Barton was poo. So putting him in gives you defensive and a little bit of offensive production, which is what you needed. So I'm almost guaranteeing that the Denver Nuggets win next game. And then they'll play Portland. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. I love Portland, but man, I think Denver is just too much for them. Because then Denver have home court. If Jokic decides to play like he's one of the best players in the series, then I think they'll give them trouble. Losing Nurkic, that hurt. Enes Kanter, he's been playing well, but I think something happened to his shoulder last night. So, but I'm not gonna count out Dame. After what I've seen, I can't count him out. But it's harder to shoot in that altitude, man. It's hard. But we'll see. I think that's going to be a good series. And, of course, the Rockets and the Warriors. If the Rockets win tonight, close out the series, they'll have games to rest. If they don't win tonight, though, I could see it going 7. I think Utah would play with so much energy back at home. And then hopefully hopefully the Rockets could come back to Houston in Game 7 and win. But I would love for them to close it out tonight so they can get rest, get ready for the Warriors. I do believe the Warriors play tonight as well. So they both will have the same amount of rest. If they both win tonight, which I think will be crucial to the Rockets' success, especially because of the injuries. But yeah, this is turning out to be a good playoff series. I knew the East was going to be crazy. Milwaukee and Boston, that's going to be good. And then the 76ers and the Raptors, which is what I said it was going to be. And then Rockets, Warriors, and then Portland and Denver. Portland could get to the Western Conference Finals. Will they win? No, I think whoever wins out of Houston and Golden State is going to win the NBA championship. But that has to be an amazing feeling for Damian Lillard and for CJ McCollum to get to rid those demons of not being able to get out the first round the last 2 years, getting swept in the first round the last 2 years at that, and to do it to the team who's been talking so much trash to you. It has to feel amazing. But yeah, that's it for the playoffs. I want to touch on the NFL draft. The NFL draft is tomorrow. And it's interesting. I definitely want to see what the Broncos are going to do with the 10th pick of the draft. We have to go quarterback. We have to. But there's been rumblings of Dwayne Haskins that his draft stock has been going down. We still don't know if the Giants are going to pick him. Kyler Murray, I'm for sure, will be the first pick of the draft let me go over the draft order. So it's Arizona Cardinals 1, 49ers 2, New York Jets 3, Oakland Raiders 4, Tampa Bay 5, New York 6, New York Giants 6, 7, the Jaguars 8, Lions 9, Bills 10, Broncos 11, Bengals 12, Packers 13, Dolphins 14, Falcons 15, Redskins 16, Panthers 17, Giants again, 18, the Minnesota Vikings 19, the Titans, Steelers at 20, Seattle at 21, Baltimore at 22, Houston Texans at 23, Oakland Raiders 24, Philadelphia Eagles 25, Colts 26, Raiders again at 27, 28, the Chargers 29, Seattle, and 30 is Green Bay, 31 Los Angeles, and then 32 New England Patriots. So I'm expecting Kyler Murray to go first, Nick Bosa second. So that's where we're going. The Jets, I don't know if I would draft a lineman with the number 3 pick. I still feel like they need some offensive linemen for their team. But I don't know if there's too many good offensive linemen in this draft. I guess they could go Jawan Taylor from Florida, but I don't think that's the way they want to go, which is weird because I feel like if you're going to have a good situation in New York, you don't have too many good receivers. You just signed Le'Veon Bell. You have a pretty good quarterback in Sam Darnold. I just think you would want to shore that up. But if they go with a defensive lineman, that's okay because they need to shore up their defense. But with other picks in the draft, I wouldn't go defensive lineman at third. Josh Allen, I love Josh Allen. He went to Kentucky. He's going to be good. Edge rusher. I don't know if Oakland, because Oakland's not really sure on that quarterback situation either. But going defense, I understand. I'm just stuck on this Dwayne Haskins. So let me get to my team. So my team at 10, the Denver Broncos, we got a good quarterback, but they're looking at the quarterback out of Missouri. Now, I didn't watch Missouri play a lot, but I did, watch some highlights of Drew Lock, and I'm not impressed, really. I'm not really impressed. If Dwayne Haskins falls to 10, I'd rather take him over Drew Lock since we're talking about the future. Joe Flacco is probably going to be a starter, hopefully not for long. But if we can get Dwayne Haskins, we need to get Dwayne Haskins. Drew Lock, nah. Drew Lock reminds me, not Paxton Lynch, because Paxton Lynch never looked good at all. But I don't see Drew Lock doing too much, in all honesty. All my U of H fans, Ed Oliver might be ending up in the Detroit Lions. That's what a mock draft says. Ed Oliver at 8. It's a lot of defensive players going in the first round. This might be the first draft where it's over half the picks are defensive players, for sure. My Houston Texans fans were looking at getting some more offensive linemen. That's a good idea. You got to protect the quarterback. They did an okay job last year, but you can always get better at that. And then I'm not really, after 15, 16, 17, 18, it's kind of like whatever. You never know what picks are going to pan out anyway, but quarterbacks are are just irreplaceable. So those are always important in drafts. But like defensive players, sometimes they pan out, sometimes they don't. You can always find other defensive players. So this isn't a very deep draft, but I like this for Arizona because I think they have like 8 picks in this draft. The New York Giants Arizona has 10 picks. New York Giants have 12 picks in the draft. The Oakland Raiders have 8 picks. So it could be a lot of, and the Patriots somehow, they have 12 picks in the draft. I just don't understand. So it's going to be interesting to see who goes first. I really feel like Kyler Murray did Nick Bosa, but you never know. The Cardinals don't know what they want to do. Do they want to keep Drew Rosen? Do they want to trade him? I say trade him. I like Kyler Murray a lot better, even though he's only like 5'9". When you can throw the football and you have legs like that, you can do a lot more in the NFL. I truly believe that. But yeah, we'll see. Next time you hear from me, the draft would have been happening, and maybe the start of second round of the playoffs. So you catch me next time. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.